Hi, delighted to have Sudhir Sethi, the founder and CEO of Chiratae Ventures, with us. Sudhir, welcome.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have you here at TGS Singapore. A quick conversation to talk about. You've seen entrepreneurship from its infancy in Bangalore. You've seen the energy of Bangalore. You've been here at TGS. Just a few thoughts on entrepreneurship, Bangalore and TGS in probably no particular order.
So, I think the scale of entrepreneurship in India has shot up. Many people don't know that the entrepreneurship ecosystem, which has been funded by angels, investors, as well as both India and outside the country, the revenue of that startup ecosystem today is about $30 billion. We expect this revenue in the 2030 timeframe to go to $400 billion. Happy to share that research with some of you who are interested. Yes, which means it's no longer an ecosystem, it's a startup industry. And the moment it's industry startup, there are so many things which are happening. It used to be a few sectors, now it's what I call every tech, because 75% of the money goes into technology. Whether it is climate, whether it is industry of consumer, etc. But more important is, I think today's startups have started to make enormous impact on everyday life. Today we have companies in agriculture which are serving totally 3.5 million farmers in the country and helping them increase income on an annual basis through technology overall, through soil management, disease management, water management. We have companies in healthcare who have addressed 22 million people in the country to improve eyesight, as an example. So, startups are creating companies which are needed by society and business. They are addressing the problems which are there in the country and then scaling them. So, and many of them, after especially COVID, have become profitable.
Yeah.
That's a discipline which has come into the VC as well as the startup.
Yeah.
So I think it's massive. What is now also happening is Indian capital is coming into it. For us, 50% of our capital comes from India. Industry-wise, it's probably 20%, and I think it will increase. I believe that India-focused funds and Indian fund managers who command today 60% of total funds raised in the last 5.5 years is going to go to 70-80%. So it's a very interesting market, and many of these companies are going abroad, by the way. So just take us as an example, because I have the data. Out of our 3 billion revenue, 25% comes from international. So companies are going, addressing problems in India, solving them, revenue from India, market dominance, vertical integration, and going abroad. That playbook is now sustainable and strong.
Fantastic. So I think it's a very multiple vectors of growth happening in that sense. For an entity like TiE, and with TiE Global Summit happening in Bangalore next year, what's your suggestions and dreams of what we should ideally do to take the whole entrepreneurship wave to the next level?
So I think 5 or 6 things, and I would maybe 3 things.
Right.
I think TGS coming to Bangalore next year end is phenomenal, because it just makes the whole world and India focus on entrepreneurship. There is a lot of details about India, the entrepreneurial ecosystem, how the revenues are going, how companies are going global, how entrepreneurs are today setting up manufacturing units, supply chain efficiencies, warehousing efficiencies, which I think the world doesn't know. I think we must showcase phenomenal trends which are happening, which will, today, for instance, SaaS as an example, based again on Chiratae research, 5% of global SaaS revenue comes from India. By 2030 to 35, that range, 25% of global SaaS revenue will come from India. I think it's important to discuss some of these dominant trends where India will be a major part of the world rather than one more entrepreneurial ecosystem. That's number one. I think number 2 is the kind of companies which are coming into or being formed in India. They're solving challenges which only Indian entrepreneurs can solve. I'll give you a very simple example. I don't know how much you paid for your glasses.
was about 800 rupees or so.
800 rupees, right? Now, that's $100.
Yeah.
Sorry, $10.
Yeah, $10. Yeah.
Now, a good glass anywhere in the world is not available for $10. Which means if we want to now, UPI has changed the paradigm of TAM in the country.
Yeah.
There are 70 million consumers on credit cards and there are 350 million consumers on UPI. 350 hopefully will go to 6 years from now, 700 million. 700 million now becomes my TAM. Okay? If I have to now go, and Lenskart is one of our companies, if they want to sell to the next 100 million consumers, they cannot sell an 800 rupee glass. They need to sell at 400 rupees while maintaining their margins. If that is the case, then you need investments in material science, investment in design, investment in manufacturing, okay, efficiencies in supply chain, warehousing. This paradigm is now happening in India. Okay, I think the TAM being now 1 billion people who need healthcare, 1 billion people who need let's say loans, 1 billion people who need insurance, 1 billion people who need consumer products, 300 million students who need efficient healthcare, 70 million B2B merchants who need working capital and efficiency. How do you address? That's the biggest TAM in the world. And I think as Nandan calls it, it's population scale opportunity. The population scale opportunity is what VCs and entrepreneurs are today already addressing. And that's the market in India. We must highlight that to global investors and to domestic investors very, very nicely. Last point, though TGS is a global phenomenon, we must invite at least 1,000 Indian family offices who are very large participants and institutions like SIPI and NIF and LIC to come and participate because they are the biggest participants in the country in domestic capital.
Exactly. Wonderful. I think it's completely in sync. Sudhir, the idea is to showcase entrepreneurship, not just startups, is to showcase opportunities of building in India, for India and from India. And as you said, attract a slew of capital to flow in to support these ideas. Look forward to working with you to make all of this happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best for TGS.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you and your support on this journey. Thank you.